Welcome to Alaska Weather, a production of Alaska Public Media and the National Weather Service, Alaska Region. Produced and broadcast daily from the studios of KAKM, Alaska Weather provides complete forecasts, public, marine, and aviation for all of Alaska. Alaska Weather is made possible by the following sponsors.
Support comes from the University of Alaska College Savings Plan, helping you and your child save for college every step of the way, from diapers to diploma. More information at uacollegesavings.com.
The National Weather Service.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks again for joining us for Friday's edition of Alaska Weather. Up first here again, the station times or the show times on the different stations: APB 5:30 p.m., ACRS, and KUAC on 9.4 at 5:30, beginning again Monday, September 19th. And then for 360 North, same time, 7:30 as it always been, and then Alaska Public Media the following morning at 5 a.m. And on to satellite imagery yesterday. This is the batch of clouds here that brought the heavy wind and rain to the southeast coast yesterday, and some of that extending back up into the southeast interior, a break, and then some more moisture out here around Bristol Bay, the main low center down here just south of the Alaska Peninsula. And otherwise up in the north band right through there, some breaks up to the northwest. And today we've got another batch of moisture here slipping on up to the northeast there, enhanced showers across the panhandle today. Another band, yet another surge of moisture lifting northward out of the Gulf of Alaska, brought rain in across southern Alaska here from Cook Inlet today, Kenai Peninsula, right up along the North Gulf Coast, and some of that getting into the Copper River Basin. A few breaks here over the central interior areas, and then solid area of rain out here over the southwest coast, Kilbrook Mountains, northern Bristol Bay, back up across Yukon, Kuskokwim Delta, pulling up towards St. Lawrence Island a little bit there, and then good northwest flow coming down behind that, actually a low center here right over the interior. And then up to the north, a couple of bands of moisture. This one right through here really not doing a whole lot, but the next one bringing in some rain and snow to the central and western Arctic coast this afternoon. A little bit of a kick up in the winds there, barrowed gusts of 30 miles an hour earlier as that thing approached and then dropped back down. And on the chart, there's that low over the southwest interior areas, and pretty good rainfall amounts today. Scammon Bay picking up about ½ an inch since midnight last night, and Bethel about 1/3 of an inch of rain. Otherwise, rainfall again lifting northward, kind of becoming more showery later this afternoon as this break here comes northward, but there are more showers following it in behind. Anyway, up to about 1 inch of rain having fallen at Yakutat. Otherwise, lighter amounts. Cordova picking up about 1/3 of an inch. Seward 7/10 of an inch throughout the day today. Actually, rainfall amount since midnight. And then the showers here over the southeast coast, rainfall much lighter, a lot less wind than what was seen yesterday. But watching the next system here coming in, and there are some embedded thunderstorms associated with that. So as that rolls on in tonight, probably see some pretty heavy showers here over the central and southern southeast coast, as it looks like the heaviest moisture will move in more toward the southern areas, and had some showers around Kodiak Island today. And then there's that trough back up along the Arctic coast there that brought the rain and snow to the western side of the region there, and then the Arctic front back to the northwest, getting ready to smack down upon you later tonight and more likely tomorrow. And then we got an area of moisture out here over the northern Bering Sea, and it looks like some of this moisture is going to pull westward, link up with this. The whole thing's going to pull southeastward. That'll bring rain into Bristol Bay, down to the Alaska Peninsula late tonight and for tomorrow. And then farther out to the west, you can see the next system tonight will push eastward into the western Aleutians, pick those winds up, spread the rain eastward. Showers here, eastern Aleutians, Alaska Peninsula, and you can see this picking that moisture up, converging with this one. That's going to move right into Bristol Bay during the day tomorrow. Otherwise, for tonight, occasional rain and showers. We're getting a little more showery here over the southwest interior. Up in the central and eastern part of the state, not a whole lot going on, just some variable clouds. Most of these showers now along the Alaska Range. Still be kind of showery across the Susitna Valley on down to the Kenai Peninsula and Prince William Sound. So still a chance of showers throughout the night tonight. Same thing for the North Gulf Coast. And this trough rolls in. Again, the heaviest moisture will go south or over the southern areas there. Lighter amounts back up to the north. And for tomorrow, we'll see that Arctic front pushes down to about this position tomorrow afternoon. So the colder air coming in, that'll drop the snow levels right down to the surface. So snow there, Barrow, on down to possibly Point Hope, Kivalina. Otherwise, mixed conditions out in advance of the front. And again, the Brooks Range kind of holding it up. So you'll get a little bit coming south of the mountains, but not a whole lot. And that's slowly pushing eastward. Otherwise, partly and mostly cloudy over the interior, probably mostly cloudy more than partly, with scattered showers across the entire area. Again, day tomorrow, pretty showery, mostly cloudy, south central Alaska, Prince William Sound. Probably less in the way of rainfall, and the showers a little more scattered than they were today here for the North Gulf Coast, and definitely around Yakutat, but socked in with showers there for the Panhandle again. Low pressure off the coast, southwest flow keeps sending bands of showers right into the area there. They kind of enhance with the terrain and become more numerous than they are when they're off the coast. And then this batch of moisture here bringing the rain, drizzle, fog, showers, maybe some IFR, definitely marginal there for the Bristol Bay area. Pretty gusty winds today kicking up to about 25 to 35 miles an hour in the Alaska Peninsula, or even stronger back here along the coast. They'll begin to diminish here along the southwest coast tomorrow, but stay pretty breezy there across the peninsula. Gales out tonight and later tonight, and are done tomorrow there. And then this system here, warm front, maybe spreading some moisture to the central Aleutians. The cold front hung up back toward Chimay-Attu. And the developing low out there deepens and doesn't move a whole lot to the east, kind of drifts up to the north there. And the front slowly edging its way eastward, so look for some gale force winds. Minimum gales come into the Adak and Atka area on Sunday with some rain. Otherwise, southwesterlies increasing, south-southwest here across the Bering Sea, but staying dry for the Pribilofs. Dry conditions for the eastern Aleutians, maybe some sun for Unalaska. Breaks in the overcast there also possible for the Alaska Peninsula. And higher pressure building up into the west central interior, so it looks like a shower-free, partly to mostly sunny kind of day here for Prince William Sound, south central Alaska, back down across Bristol Bay and into the Kuskokwim Valley. Kind of a band of showers there, mostly cloudy, actually scattered showers through this area, then back into the dry conditions with more sunshine up to the north. Things improve up there on the Arctic coast. Just some westerly winds, small craft advisory westerly winds there along the coast, and maybe a few snow showers skiffing the central, maybe the eastern Arctic coast, and then down into the Copper River Basin, partly to mostly a few scattered showers there, drier conditions down toward the North Gulf Coast. Dry day here from Yakutat, as I mentioned, all the way over to Seward, and then less showers starting to end, but not ending completely across the Panhandle there. They'll probably linger right into Sunday evening. And for temperatures down that way today, mid-50s north to lower 60s in the south. That was, let's see, Ketchikan, Klawock had 61 this afternoon, 57 in Sitka. Otherwise in the mid-50s there, up around Juneau, 52 at Yakutat, right around 50 here for the North Gulf Coast, with Valdez only reaching 48. 55 there in the Copper River Basin, Gulkana, McCarthy at 53, just 42 at Gunsight. 57 at Tok, 54 Delta, Fairbanks just 44 degrees, and farther up to the north, kind of upper 30s to 40s there with 42 at Bettles and 37 over at Fort Yukon. Arctic Village at 36, and Anatuvik, much warmer than yesterday at this time, and they were 19 right at the freeze mark this afternoon. Temperatures right around freezing across the north slope there. Ottenweller, 28 this afternoon, one of the chillier areas there on the eastern Arctic coast. Otherwise mid-30s to into the lower 40s back to the west, 47 in Nome, 34 Kivalina, and a 43 at Wales, 41 both at Savunga and Gamble, also at St. Michael there. Otherwise a 46 at St. Mary's, 48 in Kotzebue, or I'm sorry, Unalakleet, 50 degrees at McGrath, lower 50s on down to the south, and you fall back into the 40s here across the deltas, again with all the rain and clouds occurring out there throughout the day. Upper 40s for the Pribilofs, so some pretty gusty northwest winds there, 25 to maybe 30 miles an hour, a few higher gusts. 50s for the Alaska Peninsula, right around 50 the eastern Aleutians, and a little above 50 out to the west. For our lows tonight, 25 to 30 here for the north slope, lower 30s for the Arctic coast, and upper 30s here on down towards St. Lawrence Island. 40 to 45 over the southwest interior, in the 40s south central Alaska, kind of a mix across the Copper River Basin. 40s for the Panhandle and 40s for the Aleutians. For the highs, shaping up like this, mid to maybe upper 50s there for the Tanana Valley, so definite warm up from what you saw today. Same thing here, south of the mountains into the south central area, lower 50s out to the west here, 30s up to the north, down to about the Brooks Range, mid 50s for the southeast coast. Flying weather tomorrow morning, IFR, Prince William Sound eastward, cutting off right around Yakutat, marginal VFR along the coast down the Panhandle. And another batch of IFR conditions here, Togiak Bay up into the deltas, and marginal VFR for the Arctic coast, north slope, right down into the Brooks Range. Also pretty marginal over the southern Bering Sea and the Aleutians. IFR with the next front coming into the western areas. For tomorrow afternoon, it kind of lifts northeastward here. Again, that warm front very weak as it comes down toward the central Aleutians. Areas of marginal VFR over the Aleutians, extending right up into the southwest interior of that batch rain. I wouldn't be surprised to see IFR on the windward side of the peninsula here right into the afternoon. Marginal VFR back up towards St. Lawrence Island, and then IFR here coming on to the western Arctic coast with good VFR central interior right on down into the North Gulf Coast. A little lower stuff persisting, hanging on to Prince William Sound. And for Anaktuvuk, marginal VFR, same forecast for Adigan. Lake Clark and Merrill occasionally marginal, which means VFR at other times of the day tomorrow. Rainy though, basically a VFR day. Same thing for Windy. Isabel, VFR, Mentasta also VFR, Tanita looks good, and Portage marginal VFR with Chilkoot and White starting out marginal, probably becoming VFR into the afternoon. Freezing levels here as that front comes southward late tonight, early tomorrow at the surface, right down to the Brooks Range, 2,000 feet near or just south of that line with 4,000 feet, a little farther to the south, otherwise 4,000 to 6,000 feet here across southern Alaska and the Panhandle, and kind of a cold pool here over the central and eastern Bering Sea coming southeastward there, 4,000 feet or lower over the eastern Aleutians and Alaska Peninsula, gradually warming up a little out to the west. Icing with the next system coming in west out there, above about 9,000 feet, light to isolated moderate, and same sort of thing here, and that moisture coming down will bring some icing threats into Bristol Bay, the Alaska Peninsula, up to maybe the Kuskokwim River, and also back here to the northwest, areas of icing possible up there. And for the southeast coast, areas of mixed icing, mostly above about 6,000 feet. And looking at the jet stream now, jet stream well to the south, so on the cold side there, kind of showery, unsettled coming up for the weekend there for the Panhandle with upper level low sitting right on top of you. Another one back here over Bristol Bay for tomorrow. Southwesterlies 60 to 70 knots, western Arctic coast there. Again, this trough kind of swinging that front in, and then it sort of dissipates, moves off to the east on Sunday. Higher pressure out over the Aleutians. 9,000 feet, low over the southwest, low off the, or over the northeast Gulf. So pretty light wind flow right across southern Alaska, becoming westerly at 10, increasing to 25 knots. Brooks Range on out to the coast. Northwesterly still pretty brisk here, 25 to 35. Southwest coast across the peninsula, cutting across the Trinity Islands, lighter winds across Fognak Island, and then southwesterlies at about 50 there, coming into the western Aleutians. Same thing at 3,000 feet, 50-knot winds more out west of Kiska, Shimmy and Attu areas. Westerlies 25 along the Aleutian, southern Bering Sea, turning northwest 25 to 30, maybe 35 knots there across the peninsula. South of Kodiak Island, light winds over southern Alaska, 25 to 30 knots there, Brooks Range, and then maybe out to the Arctic coast. And as far as turbulence goes, smooth to the Panhandle, much of the interior, light to isolated moderate chop below 4,000 feet up there on the Arctic coast, down to about Kivalina, occasional moderate chop here, Alaska Peninsula, out to probably just east of Unalaska, and then some more moderate turbulence farther out west. And after hangar flying, I'll be back with a look at the marine forecasts.
Good evening. I'm Harry Keeling, and on behalf of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and Alaska Public Media, welcome to Hangar Flying. Our guest this evening has been on twice before. It's Lieutenant Colonel Linda Thiroff, and she is the Chief of Third Wing Safety at JBER. And I got to tell you, if you've had the opportunity to watch Linda the past couple of times, she's got so much to offer, and it's a pleasure having her on the program. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me. It's been great.
So we talked a little bit about the reductions, incredible reduction in the number of Air Force accidents over the years. We're now at Class A accidents about 1 per 100,000 flying hours, which is phenomenal. And you described a little bit of the ideas like analysis, trend analysis. We talked about crew rest, and I really appreciate what you had to say there, the importance of it and how it factors into accidents. Talk about crew resource management and how you do that in the C-17.
Yes, crew resource management is another trend that's come a long way. It's more than used to be, hey, there's on a C-17 crew and basic crew, there are 5, 6 crew members, 3 pilots, 2 loadmasters. And it used to be, hey, there's an aircraft commander, what they say goes. But now we're taking a point where, as a crew though, you have to work as a crew to really accomplish a mission and to do it safely. So the Air Force has really processed how to maybe look at crew resource management, and they've broken it down. So when you're out on a mission, you can look at, hey, are we accomplishing our mission as safely as possible? Are we incorporating all the crew members? A lot of times our loadmasters sit down below with the cargo compartment, but during the critical phases of flight, takeoff, landing, air refueling, they're listening up and listening to the pilots. And a lot of times, you know, you don't think about that aspect, that there's an extra set of ears on there who's listening out to the radios for you. And really bringing the loadmasters into the crew has been one of those parts of crew resource management. Are you really using every last bit of your crew to help you accomplish the mission safely? And also looking at, you know, at the end of the mission, you look back, you always want to do better. So you look at your crew and you're like, hey, is there anything we did that maybe we could have done better? Or was there any point during the mission that you weren't on the same page? You felt like, hey, I didn't know what you were doing, which is a big issue, because a lot of times we found through mishap and through trend analysis, when you look back on it, there's one crew member who kind of thought something was off, but didn't speak up. And that's probably, you know, worst case scenario. If there's ever someone who can break that chain before you get to that mishap, you really want to empower that person to speak up. And that's kind of what crew resource management is. Are we really empowering everyone on the crew to speak up to break that safety chain and prevent that next mishap?
So a lot of our audience are folks that are single pilot, either single pilot commercial or single pilot recreational. But you know, I'd like to remind folks that crew resource management actually has a place. If you've got a passenger, you can talk to that passenger about helping you clear for other traffic. In some cases, you can have them even do more than that, read the checklist to you. So there are lessons here, and it doesn't have to be a crew of necessarily rated crew members, or 6 of them. So I would encourage the folks in our audience to think about how can you can have somebody on the ground. You could consider them part of your CRM. I will tell you one quick story. I flew fighters for 25 years. In my last couple of years in the Air Force, I flew the King Air. the C-12. So I can't tell you how many times my instructor pilot slapped my hands when I went to change the radio frequency, because I've done that. He said, that's my job.
Yes.
I'll set the IFF. I'll set the radio frequency. Keep your hands off. So
True.
anyway, I want to ask you one last question. You're obviously a proven leader in the Air Force. You've got a great job. You've had a great career. Talk a little bit about your ideas on leadership. Maybe talk a little bit to the audience out, the young men and women who might have an opportunity to go into the military, to go into the Air Force, possibly even fly.
Yes. Well, I think I've had great leaders, throughout the Air Force. And one of the things is when you really enjoy your craft, and for me it's flying, you really want to eventually get to a place where you can influence where the organization is going. And as leadership, you're organizing or you're influencing the people to get the mission done, but you can also influence where that unit can go as well, And as you're coming up through the ranks, one of the great things about leadership is you can start seeing processes that can be improved, or you can maybe see, hey, maybe I can slightly shift where I think this unit or organization can go. And I think that's one of the great things about leadership is having now that influence to not only motivate people to do a mission that you love yourself, but also maybe help that unit become slightly better and maybe shift them to me in probably a better direction or a safer direction or whatever might be needed. And as far as learning to fly, I tell everyone, anyone can learn to fly. And, just need a little dedication. And if it's something you want to do, no one really can stop you, because you just need a little dedication, and anyone can learn to fly. Just like anyone really can join the military. So flying in the military, you just need to have the desire and the dedication.
Well, you certainly have it. And thank you for your service to the country and to the Air Force. And thanks for being on the program. I think what I'm going to do is maybe in 6 months or a year, we'll get you back on.
Sounds great.
Talk a little about what you've been doing.
All right, sounds
Thanks
great.
for being on the program tonight.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed tonight's program. Until next time, fly safe.
Welcome back. Today's sea ice analysis showing still icing close to the coast, Point Franklin on up to Barrow in that area there. And with the westerly winds coming into the forecast, a little stronger, especially on Sunday here, not a lot of change through the weekend into Monday. Then maybe Monday night, Tuesday, they become lighter and may go more southerly. And moving on to coastal water forecasts here. South to southwest, 15 knots on the south coast. Southeast, 15 to 20 knots up to the north. Those seas running 9 to 10 feet. So small craft advisories out along the coast. Southeast, 15 to 20. Strongest for Clarence Strait there. Seas 4 feet. Lighter winds up around northern Lynn Canal. Those become even lighter on Sunday. Barely a breeze there. Southeast 15 for the central and southern interchannels. Light winds on the south coast, light winds for the north coast there, but southeast 15, 8 to 15 foot seas. That's a mistake there. I think that should have been probably something like 8 feet. And for Prince William Sound, northern Cook Inlet, the North Gulf Coast tomorrow, light variable winds with seas not all that bad. Kamishak Bay, west winds 20 knots. Small craft advisories here for Kodiak Island there out of the southwest for Shelikof Strait. And then small crafts again here for Kamishak Bay down across the Barrens, west-northwest 25, west-northwest 20 across the island. Light northwest winds here, just 10 knots for the North Gulf Coast. 5 foot seas, winds stay light for Prince William Sound and Cook Inlet. For Bristol Bay, small craft advisories there, as well as across the Alaska Peninsula out of the west-northwest, all areas there, and on up towards Sitkinak for Saturday. And for Sunday, pick the gales up here. Castle Cape to Sitkinak, northwest 35 knots, 12-foot seas, west 25 for the peninsula. And for the Aleutians, small craft advisories mostly across, excuse me, on Alaska Island, becoming west, southwest 20, the central Aleutians, gales into the western Aleutians with that next front. And then those shift eastward here, south to north flow, 35 knots across the central Aleutians, southwest 15 to 20 for the Fox Islands. Up along the southwest coast, we've got northwest winds, 25 to 30 knots there. across Nunivak Island. Seas 7 to 9 feet. Small craft advisories tomorrow for the Pribilofs. Lighter winds for St. Matthew Island and St. Lawrence Island. Then southeast at about 20 there for St. Lawrence Island the next day. Southerlies, small craft southerlies there for the Pribilof Islands, on up into the northern Bering with 10-foot seas. South to southwest at about 15 for the southwest coast and Nunivak Island. Seas running about 5 to 6 feet. And for the eastern Arctic coast tomorrow, southwest 25 knots, dropping back to west at 20 for the central coast, northwest 20 knots here, all the way back to Cape Thompson, then turning west again. And for Sunday, small craft advisories just about the entire length of the coast there. Lighter winds here from Wales up to Cape Thompson, and then 30-knot westerlies all the way over to Demarcation Point. And those seas pretty high, 10 feet in the western coast, 13 feet, coming down a little bit to 11 feet over toward Kaktovik and Demarcation Point. And for tonight, here's that front spreading some more rain and snow in later tonight into the western Arctic coastal areas. Coming southward, a little bit of leftover moisture there may kick off a few showers in that area. Watching a developing area of rain here off the coast, heading into Bristol Bay. Otherwise, some pretty heavy showers shift in across the southern and central southeast coast. It stays showery here over southern Alaska or south central Alaska. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, scattered showers over much of the interior. Rain here, Bristol Bay and the Alaska Peninsula with those gusty winds. Snow up over the western Arctic coast onto the southwest there, with showers continuing in the Panhandle. And then on Saturday, much drier conditions. High pressure builds in with more sunshine, less showers, kind of a narrow band of scattered showers through there, but the showers hang on to the southeast coast. Gales in the central Aleutians.
These forecasts are to be used for planning purposes only. Call 1-800-WX-BRIEF for a formal pre-flight briefing. Always file a flight plan before you go flying. The U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary urges you to leave a float plan with a friend or the harbor master before you go boating. Alaska Weather is made possible by the following sponsors.
The National Weather Service.
When shopping for your family's meals, do you know where you can find Alaska-grown products? Everywhere. They're available at your local grocery stores and farmers markets across the state. Alaska-grown products are fresher and more nutritious, and buying local helps grow our economy. So just look for the Alaska-grown label when you shop, or ask your grocer where the Alaska-grown products are. Remember, Alaska-grown. It's closer, fresher, better.
And it's all